Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stitch Method. A couple things before we begin. I know what this title says, and this is a little talk to you. This isn't the end-all be-all of playing like a great blues player. This is the mindset, all right? This is the mindset you need to have, how to shift your perspective to understand what it takes to put together a really good solo. So this is, again, it's just the beginning. It's the core of how it works, but stick with it. Watch the whole thing because I think you'll learn a lot of new things. There's a lot to do in terms of soloing in blues. Like, there is a lot of stuff, and this is just going to help you think about how to think about doing it. So with that being said, let's get to it. We're going to be using a Form 1 pentatonic. We're going to be playing a blues in A, so we have an A minor. Volume every time. A volume, okay? Volume. A minor pentatonic. Form 1. And the frets are 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, and 5, 8. I'm only doing the fret numbers because, again, music is the sound of math, and also we will learn the letter names. That is important, but also these shapes are movable. If you have watched my Never Lost Pentatonic and you want to do this in Never Lost Pentatonic, and I will do it in the Never Lost, you need to watch the videos on the Never Lost Pentatonics. The chart below will have how to do it in the Form 1 and all the way through a Never Lost system. So it's for people who haven't seen it and for people who want to see it. Anyway, let's get down to it. To play a good blues, first you have to understand how a blues moves. So we're going to study a 12-bar blues, all right? So really quickly, you need to know this. And for people who have watched this or know this, just bear with me. You have to know how a 12-bar blues goes. 12-bar blues, okay? A bar is a term for what means a certain count that is repeated. You can have a 4 count, you can have a 6 count, a 7 count. So a bar of music equals the count that we have. So most blues, Chicago-style blues, is a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That equals 1 bar. So if you're counting 2 bars, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2, 2, 3, 4. And what you do is you replace the number bar you're on with the first number, and then you say 2, 3, 4. So here's 4 bars counted, just in case you haven't done this before. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. That's how you count bars. Enough of that. So now, a 12-bar blues is a blues movement that has 12 counts of something, or in this case 4, before it starts again. Now, I'm going to play this. I'm also going to shout out loud and put on the screen somewhere over here or here what we're on. So the blues consists of 1s, 4s, and 5s, okay? So we start out with a 1 chord for 4 bars. This is a standard 12-bar blues. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, A7, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to the 4, which is D7, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. We go back to the 1 for 2 bars, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. We go to the 5 chord for 1 bar, and then the 4 chord for 1 bar, and then back to the 1 for 1.5 bars, and then we go to the 5. Okay, so on the bottom of the screen, it's going to say how many bars of each we do, probably around there. Okay, so you're also going to see that in the description, and maybe at the end of this video, I will supply a backing track, which will be necessary. Okay, so now that's out of the way, let's get to what is going on in the mind of a blues player, or really any guitar player, but you have to start with the blues. So the blues player knows that a 12-bar blues consists of 1s, 4s, and 5 chords, and moving through time. And the order goes from 1 chord to a 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, and 5, 4, 1, 5. So now, in your pentatonic scale, in this pentatonic scale, this has intervallic numbers, or intervals. And when you're thinking of a minor pentatonic, this is the 1. And this is called the flat 3. Okay, and the next note you have a 4 and a 5 and a flat 7. You go back to a 1. Now none of this should be new to any of you guys who've been watching my videos, as in the notes and the fret numbers, but these are the intervals. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. You want to really know those intervals. It goes back to a 1 and it repeats the same pattern. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, and 1. Alright, so now this all this stuff will be in the chart below. Nail that for you, okay? And so again, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, and a flat 3. And again, if you watch my blues tricks videos, you'll understand this stuff. All right, but we're going to stick with the simple pentatonic right now. So when the blues is playing and they're on the 1 chord, remember from my other videos, there's no place like home. So in this scale, we have a 1 chord, a 1 here, a 1 here, and a 1 here. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. That's the 7th fret of the D. Then 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. And that's the 5th fret of the E's. So your 1s, your homes, your A's are 5th fret of the E, 7th fret of the D, and 5th fret of the high E. So when the band is playing the 1 chord, you want to start and or end on that 1. Now this isn't new to, again, people who watch my channel. If you're new, if this is your first Stitch Method video, go watch some other videos and come back. But here we go. So if I'm on the 1 chord, you start on the 1 in the scale, and you end on the 1, right? And that's plain simple. But what do we do in the 4 chord? When we get to the 4 chord, we need to treat this 4 chord like it is home. As in, the question that I talk about is, where are we right now? Well, we're on the 4 chord, and in this pentatonic, you have a 4 here, and you have a 4 here. So you have a 4 on the 5th fret of the A, and a 7th fret of the G. Now, I'm going to play a guitar solo for you with no backing track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I know my 12-bar blues. I'm going to pretend where the blues is. I'm going to hit the 1 when we're on the 1 and play a little bit of soloing. And when the band changes the 4, I'm going to hit that 4. Keep soloing in the pentatonic, hit the other 4 if I want to, bind with the moment. Bind with the moment. So here we go. So 1, 2, ready, goes from the 1. Ooh, terrible. There's a 1. 1. Now here comes 4. There's my 4. There's my other 4. And back to the 1. So you can hear the blues in my solo because I am highlighting those chord changes with the notes within my pentatonic. There are 1s, 4s, and 5s in the pentatonic. When we get to the 5 chord, we hit the 5. But where are the 5s? It's very simple, actually. Wherever I have a 1, next door is a 4, and the 5 is always 2 frets up. I treat it like a little neighborhood. Okay, like this is your house, this is your next door neighbor, and then this is the friend down the street. So this is a 1, 4, and 5. Now the rest of the 1, 4s, and 5s in this pentatonic, you have a 1 on the 5th fret of the D string, good. And then next door is your 4. Now 2 frets up is your 5, but that takes us out, and that same 5 is right here, 5th fret of the B string, and back to a 1. So you have 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. That is so important. Again, the chart has it below. So now if you listen, I know how a 12-bar blues goes, and I'm sure most of you, some of you don't, and I apologize for about the first couple minutes of this video, but here is my guitar solo, playing along in my head to a 12-bar blues, but highlighting the chord changes with landing on that specific note, and then continuing in the pentatonic. 2, ready, here's the 1. 4 and 1, 1. 5, 4 and 1. 5, 1. If you are a fan of Fish, which again, big fan of, they have that song Funky Bitch I've talked about in other videos. It's not their song, but it's a cover song. But if you go listen to Trey Anastasio solo on Funky Bitch, or any 12-bar blues solo, and you listen for those movements, and you hear how fast and how precise he is when that 1 chord or 4 chord comes, like here comes the chord, and he's wham, intercepting, like hits that 4 real quick. And again, go listen to your favorite 12-bar blues, or listen to Funky Bitch by Fish. It's a really good example. So here I have a backing track I loaded up in A, and it's a slow kind of thing, but now I'm going to do it with a backing track. And here we go, hitting the 1s with the 1s, the 4s with the 4s, and the 5s with the 5s within the scale. This prevents you from being lost. You are checking in at the moments you need to check into. You're giving the listener something to listen to. You're giving them a sense of closure and also a sense of momentum. So this is what it sounds like when you hit the 1s with the 1s, the 4s with the 4s, and the 5s with the 5s. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. 1. Those are my 1s. Here comes the 4. Back to the 1. Up to the 5. There it is. 4. 1. 5. And 1. And that's how we do it. All right? So listen, this is the mindset you have to have. Well, actually, rule number 1, which you never even talked about, the pentatonic always sounds good. There's a lot more to do in the blues. I mean, there's a lot more. But rule number 1 of a pentatonic is that it always sounds good. So we're learning how to have like a base, like a starter point of where we're going to solo. We're going to use that pentatonic, and we're going to use the 1s, 4s, and 5s in it to highlight the chord changes. Every good guitar player's job is to highlight the chord changes, to know what the chords are and where those tones are, to help like put the salt and the garlic and the oregano in the song. So now, just to show you, I'm going to do it. If you haven't seen my Never Lost system, I'm going to go from form 1 all the way up to my next form 1, hitting 1s, 4s, and 5s all the way through. And if you want to do it again, the chart will have it below. So here's the highlights. Hit the 1s with the 1s, the 4s with the 4s, the 5s with the 5s. Know your 12-bar blues. I will have a backing track available to practice where I'm shouting out the numbers. Anyway, I'm going to rewind this, and here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Okay. This guy, he's soloing, and he comes in. Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2. With my Never Lost system. Go. Okay, so I think you get the point. This is how you have to think when you're soloing on guitar, is what chords are going on and how do I highlight that? How do I, as a lead guitar player, give the audience the sense of binding with my musicians and sewing together those chord changes? And we have a lot to do, and this is where it starts. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made you think of something new. Let me know in your comments how you think. Again, this is just where it starts. So if you're like one of those people who are watching and know how to play the blues and be like, well, it takes this, this, and this. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. This is where it starts. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And thanks again for everyone and their super awesome comments and all your support. Much, much appreciated. More stuff to come. And that's pretty much it. I'll have a backing track coming out at the same time to practice.